Okay guys, welcome to a very winterized video that I was requested to do, and we're gonna take a look at these three heaters. The question being, is a small form factor heater better on energy consumption than the bigger ones? This one is a DeLonghi ceramic. This one is a Handy Heater Heatwave ceramic as well, but it's a parabolic space heater from Home Depot, around, I would say, around 60 bucks or so. And this one is a one-stop garden winter from Harbor Freight. It's supposed to be infrared or whatever you call that heat. And we'll start with the cheapest one. This was $24.99. This was $60. And this was around 70 something. The smallest one, because it's DeLonghi. So I have here a thermometer which shows around is 21 in the room in Celsius. I'll convert that for you. And we have a kilowatt meter right here that measures how much it is consuming at its peak right now, because that's the test I'm gonna do here, how much they consume initially on peak per all three of them. And let's begin with this one here. Let's plug it in right here, and let's go at its highest settings. Let me hang the thermometer first before we do anything, so we know the temperature going up. And I'll put for all three of them towards the head, because that's where most of the heat goes. Let me put it a little bit more under the camera, and let's go. This is the highest heat this heater can put out. And you see, it's really bright. And yes, it's putting a lot of heat out of it. And as you see, the temperatures are going up. Consumption is at around 870. I'm not sure if the camera can capture that. 874. It's lingering around that 800 as of right now. It looks like it's stabilized at 800, and the temperature is going up. And let's see when it hits peak temperature, then we will stop the test. As of right now, it's still going up, and we'll wait till it goes to its maximum. And as we see right here, the kilowatt meter is still at 869, 870. It's not really going that much higher. Not sure how I can do this so you guys can see it, but I guess you take my word for it. The temperature has gone 106 right now, 108, 110, 11, and I'll see it to the maximum till it kind of stops. 115 looks like it stopped right now. 116. Yeah, I think we reached the peak right now at 121. Whoa. I'm actually very surprised right now. I did not expect it to go this high. And these are in Celsius. Again, these temperatures are in Celsius. And the consumption is staying steady at 865. 865 consumption. So you could call it 870 total. But the heat is going up around, we'll call it 120 to get like a normal for it, since it's going up and down. I will call it 120 Celsius for the cheapest heater we have right here. And yes, it features a kind of oscillating or swiveling motion that you can put it on, so it spins around. It features a safety pin under, so if you move it, it turns off, and it has a timer on the side as well. Oh, and the temperatures are going 130 right now, so I was wrong probably with the 120, but I think it will not go more than 130, but I was wrong on 120 as well, so who knows, right? It is very, very hot, really hot. Whew. So yeah, 130, I think I'll call it off. 866, 865, 870, the consumption. And we are at peak. If I turn it on low, this will go around 600 if I'm not wrong. Well, I guess we could try it at low, right? Okay, and we are done with this one. And let's turn it off now. Whoo! This was hot. And as you see, the energy consumption went back to 0 right here. And the temperatures are lowering. Of course, they have to lower down to room temperature. And yes, it's still hot around the parabola. And it has this kind of mesh that even when it's at peak heat, it does not burn your hand. You can touch it safely, especially if you have children or pets. and it will not burn. That's one thing that I really like about this. And yeah, let me take the temperature off, otherwise we'll be here all night, and I'm not planning to do any of that. So let me take this heater on the side, and let's jump to the second one, which will be the Home Depot special, which is called the Handy Heater. It's this one right here, and yes, it has a dial on the back. Right here is the dial, has off, low, and high. Right now it's on off, and yes, it has a pin on the bottom as safety, so if it tips over it will turn off. And we will try this one right next right now, see how this one fares on energy consumption and temperature. And looks like our room temperature is almost at the temperature we're right now. Well, I'll call this good. Okay, temperature right now. It's room. It's good. I'm happy with that. Unplug the Harbor Freight, and let's plug in the Home Depot. And as you see, it starts at 00. Let's hang the temperature gauge towards the top on this one too, so we are fair on both of them. Let me just take it from the side right here, and let's put it on max and see what temperatures we reach and what consumption we reach. Right now, it's turned on max, and as you see, the consumption went towards 1200 almost. I don't know why I can't show it on camera for some reason. 1100 something, and I'll tell you the numbers as they rise. And the temperature is moving up just a little bit, and yes, I can feel the heat already. Let me put this here away. Consumption still 1094, 1098, around 1100 the entire time. So we're talking about around almost 300 watts higher than the peak on Harbor Freight heater. So now the temperature is rising, and now the elements are heating up. Let me turn off the light so you can see it. As you see, these are the elements we're talking about on it. It's like a resistance around the ceramic, like the old style ones. This one does not tilt and does not swivel. It's just where it is, and that's all you get. And we're talking about $60 versus $24.99. It was when I bought it. I don't know how much they are right now. We're waiting for that to reach peak heat for it, which looks like it takes a little bit longer than the Harbor Freight. And it's still around 1097, 1099, which is around 1100 anyway. So we'll let it take its time and reach peak heat. It's very slow, by the way. Very, very slow. It throws out really good heat. I gotta say, the heat coming out of it is really pleasant. And the light is not as bad as on the Harbor Freight one, which was kind of blinding light. But it reaches peak heat a little bit slower than the Harbor Freight. And as you see, I will call it 70. Just to be fair, it's hot. Not as hot as this one. It took way longer to reach 70. And it's not going over 70. And it's consuming way more energy. As you see, it's still around 1100. So far, this one is winning when it comes to consumption versus output. So let's turn this off and try the small DeLonghi at its peak. How long will it take to reach it, and how much energy will it take? Okay, now this is turned off, and it's still hot, so we'll have to wait a minute. Okay, let's take the heat probe out of it, take it on the side, and as you see, the counter went at 00. Put it out. Now it's time for the small, so-called DeLonghi small. You'll not really that small when it comes to energy. So far, I'm not sure of the longevity of these. I've had it for a year now. Well, one winter. Not this winter is not in yet, so I had it for a winter. This one, and this one. All three of them. They went through the winter, but the most I used was this one. Because it consumes less. It can spin around to throw the whole heat around the room. And you can put a timer on it to turn off. And it has a heat sensor, which I think all three of them have it anyway. But so far, for the price and the consumption and the heat output, this one wins. So let's compare now to DeLonghi. And the room temperature went down as we wanted. And let's put it on watts. It's 0 now. Let's plug the DeLonghi in. Here goes the DeLonghi. Let me get this cord on my side so you guys can see the numbers. Here's DeLonghi. Okay, let's put the probe on the DeLonghi towards the top, just like I did in the other ones. Right here, here's the probe on top of it. Temperature starts at room temperature, 00 on the meter. And let's flip it to the max. Right now, it's going to max. I feel some heat coming out. I feel the heat. The numbers are going up. So it's going 90, 97. Okay, I think it might have reached its peak right now, but I'm not sure. Let's see if it hits 102. Nope, it doesn't. And the consumption is still around 1500 watts. So 1.5 kilowatts, depending on where you reside. If you're paying around 13 cents per kilowatt, you're talking about 15 cents right here per hour on this one. And that stuff accumulates really fast. Believe me, it goes up fast, especially with the energy prices we're having. This will accumulate in the end of the month good. So it's not making me very happy. I mean, it's blowing on me, but I'm not kind of exhaustively hot like I was with these, especially with this one, the Harbor Freight one. This one was, I couldn't even stay here. This one was next to it. This one I could stay here all night on this heat. Actually, it says 101, but maybe it's that 100 near it, maybe 4 or 5 inches. But when you get around 2-3 feet away, you feel warm. Let's put it that way, warm, and leave it at that, at warm. And the consumption is still, yep, around 1500 almost, which is a lot. It's a lot, especially when you're talking about a small machine. If it was a big heater that really will blast the entire room with heat, okay, 1500, it is what it is then. But when you're talking about just a small section, if you're directly in front of it, in my opinion, it's not a great deal. Unless you're in a small cabin or somewhere that space is of essence, or you live in a car. Well, in a car with this kind of consumption, I don't see it being really viable. And I'm just gonna turn it off now because I think we got what we wanted to get from all 3 of them. And in the end of the day, my opinion doesn't matter. It's your pocket versus your situation versus your life. And you choose what you like. Form factor, when it comes to the design, yes, DeLonghi looks really cool. It has a handle, has the stuff, has a kickback thing here that I don't know. I never know how to put it back. I think I got it now this time. Yeah, it folds good, it has a fan, but it stops there. Consumes more and heats less. Home Depot costs 60 bucks, probably 70 now. It puts out good heat. Slow, nice, stable heat, but it consumes a lot. 1100, yeah, in the end of the month it actually hurts. You see the difference at the end of the month. When it comes to Harbor Freight, and if you're talking about the initial investment versus return investment and consumption, I would go with this one. 100% my own opinion. Not that I'm paid from any of them. None of them even know that I exist. But if I was trying to balance budget versus function and heat and consumption, both my hands would be in the Harbor Freight version. And yes, it's called Oscillating Parabolic Heater, made by One Stop Gardens Winter. And yeah, that's all about them. And if you liked anything on this video, and if you learn anything on this video, please hit like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it, and it helps the channel become somebody. With that said, we'll see you next time. Bye!